guys, it's Ishani, aka Total Makeup Junkie 101. So today I have a really exciting review video for you guys. This is on the new Revlon Lacquer Balms and Matte Balms. If you guys didn't know, Revlon kind of followed in the footsteps of L'Oreal. When L'Oreal released their new Lilac and Le Matte lip products, Revlon just came out with their Colorburst Lacquer Balms and Matte Balms. As far as I know, these are not limited edition. I found them at my local CVS, but I know people have been finding them at Bed Bath & Beyond and Harmon's drugstores. I'm sure they will be popping up all over the place really soon, so keep your eyes peeled out. Now, I will start off this review by saying that these are not at all similar to the L'Oreal Lilac and Le Mattes. If you guys thought that this was kind of Revlon's rendition of them, it really isn't. They're completely different products in my opinion. Not only is the packaging completely different, but the overall performance of the product is completely different. They do not go on the same way, they don't last the same way, they are completely different lip products. So this is just going to be a full in-depth review video on these new Revlon Colorburst Lacquer Balms and Matte Balms. I will be showing you guys the packaging, talking about the product, the application, the longevity, as well as swatching all 20, yes I repeat, all 20 of the Lacquer Balms and Matte Balms on my lips, as well as up-close swatches on my hand. I decided to purchase all 20 of these new Revlon lip products, mainly because I wanted to film a really good review video for you guys where I could swatch all of the lip products and show you guys the entire range that's offered, as well as I kind of love these lip products. So the fact that I purchased all 20 just kind of tells you how much I love them. So we will start off this review by talking about the new Lacquer Balms. The Lacquer Balms come in packaging like this. If you guys are familiar with the Revlon Just Bitten Kissable Lip Balm stains, they come in the exact same jumbo pencil format packaging. The only difference with these Lacquer Balms is that they have this really nice metallic outer packaging. You can see it's almost like mirrored, and I think that's actually really pretty. It looks really nice. I will say that the actual metallic part will eventually kind of start peeling off and wearing off. I can already tell just by peeling some of the stickers off of the product. Some of the packaging is already coming off. It does say Revlon Colorburst Lacquer Balm on it, and it has the name here at the bottom with a little sticker. I will say that the outer packaging is pretty close to the actual product inside, but it is not by any means identical. Some of the shades are closer than other shades, but sometimes the outer packaging may mislead you a little bit onto what's actually inside the tube. When you see these in the store, they do have a little tiny sticker on them, which is kind of, I guess, like a little seal on it. It's not completely wrapped, which I don't like. I kind of wish Revlon would just completely wrap these in like a plastic or something so no one would open them, because the little sticker seal is kind of ridiculous. Like, it doesn't really do much. So now, as for the qualities of these Lacquer Balms, out of the 10 shades that I have, I would say 8 of them do have some shimmer or some sparkle in them. It's not to say that they're gritty by any means. It doesn't feel like you have glitter on your lips, but you will be able to see a little bit of sparkle. So if you guys were hoping that these Lacquer Balms were all cream finishes, the majority of them are not. Overall, the Lacquer Balms, I would have to say, are on the sheerer side of lip products. If you guys have the Just Bitten Kissable Lip Balm stains, like I said, those have pretty decent pigmentation to them. These are definitely more of a product that you have to build up on your lips. The darker or the brighter shades will, of course, be more pigmented than the lighter or more neutral shades. That's just kind of a quality with lip products across the board. These Lacquer Balms do go on feeling very moisturizing, feeling very creamy. They have a little bit of shine to them, which is really nice. I will say they are not at all as glossy or as shiny as the L'Oreal Lilacs. And these are also not at all as pigmented as those L'Oreal Lilacs. The Lilacs from L'Oreal are full coverage, fully opaque, totally glossy. It's almost like, it's like putting on a full coverage lip gloss on your lips. I would say out of all of the jumbo lip pencils that I have tried from the drugstore, these are the most comparable to the original Tarte Lip Surgeons lip pencils. Little bit sheer, a little bit of shimmer, goes on with a little bit of shine. As it wears throughout the day, the shine does kind of dissipate and you are left with a little bit of a stain. They fade very evenly. I don't think these claim to stain your lips like the Just Bit and Kissable lip balm stains, because that has the word stain in the title. This does not have the word stain in the title, and it also doesn't have the word Colorstay or anything like that. They are just the Colorburst. So because these don't claim to be a stain, I'm not docking them off any points for not staining your lips as much as the Just Bit and Kissable balm stains. These also don't last, on my lips at least, for very long. I find that they fade within 2 or 3 hours. And I think that's because the texture of them is pretty creamy and pretty lightweight. It's not as heavy feeling as the L'Oreal Lilacs, and it just kind of goes on almost like a moisturizing lip balm. I will say that with these being so creamy, they actually do not bleed or feather, at least on my lips. That includes all of the darker and brighter shades that are in this Lacquer Balm collection. None of them bleed on me throughout the day, which is really nice. So now I'm going to jump into all of the individual colors and show you guys lip swatches as well as up-close swatches of all of these new Revlon Lacquer Balms. So this first shade is called Demure, and it is a very, very light baby doll pink. It's not a very blue-based pink. It's very warm tone, or like a neutral pink. Not super flattering on my skin tone, as you can see, but for light skin tones, I think this would be beautiful. The next shade is called Coquette, and this is a very beautiful, very wearable, warm or neutral toned pink. It's not super blue based. I think it looks really nice on my skin tone just as an everyday pink shade. This next shade is called Whimsical, and this is a very beautiful berry toned pink. It looks a lot more berry on your lips and when you swatch it than it does when you just look at the exterior packaging. It looks like a hot pink here, but a very nice berry pink on your lips. Next shade is Vivacious, and this one I would say is almost like a corally hot pink. It's very, very beautiful, super bright with a little bit of orange tones to it, and unlike a lot of the other lacquer balms, this one does not have any shimmer, and it's also a lot more pigmented than the other ones. The next shade is Flirtatious, and this is a beautiful, bold, berry red shade. It's not a true red, and it's not a true berry. It kind of verges on the line between a beautiful berry and a red. The next shade is called Tease, and this one I would say is like a burnt orange, almost like a pumpkin-y orange color. It's actually a very, very wearable orange shade. If you guys are afraid of orange, this is a good one to start out with. I will say it's a little bit less pigmented than some of the other shades, and it also does not have any shimmer in it. This next shade is the most true red shade that is offered in the Lacquer Balm part of the collection, and this one is called Provocateur, and this is a very beautiful true red. It's for the most part pretty cream finish, and it is very, very pigmented. The next shade is called Koi, and this one I would say is a very neutral toffee brown type shade. This one also does need to be built up quite a bit, but it is really, really pretty once you get it on. This next shade is called Ingenue, something like that. It's got an accent on one of the E's, but basically it is just a My Lips color. It is just a neutral rosy brown, literally just looks like my lips. Not even a My Lips but better, just a My Lips. And then the last lacquer balm is called Enticing, and this is a very deep brick red color. This one is also very pigmented, goes on really smoothly. Another one of my favorites from this part of the collection. So my overall thoughts of these lacquer balms is pretty good. I will say that they aren't quite as pigmented or as opaque as I'm sure some of you guys were hoping or expecting from a Revlon lip product. But I think for those of you guys who just want a really quick, easy way to apply lip product on the go, This is in a nice jumbo pencil format. It does twist up from the bottom so you don't have to sharpen it, which is really nice. I would say that these are really easy on the go lip products. You do get decent pigmentation, at least with the darker or brighter shades. They don't bleed. They last a decent amount of time. They're very moisturizing feeling. So overall, I would say a good thumbs up. Alrighty guys, now let's jump over to the matte balms. Revlon also released 10 matte balms as a part of this Lacquer Balm Matte Balm collection. The matte balms come in packaging like this, the exact same packaging as the Lacquer Balms, except it has a matte outer packaging, which I think is really nice because especially if you have all three of the different formulations, if you have some of the Lacquer Balms, some of the Just Bitten Kissable Balm stains, and some of the matte balms, you'll be able to tell just from the exterior packaging which one is which. Now the matte balms completely differ from the Lacquer Balms because the matte balms are fully opaque coverage in one swipe, maybe two for some of the lighter shades. They are so creamy, velvety on the lips. For being matte lip products, they are not drying. I would recommend putting on a lip balm before putting these on just because, I mean, it still does dry down. You're not getting that nice glossy, slippery feeling like you are with the Lacquer Balms. As far as matte lip products go, I think you have some of the ones that are just super drying. For example, like the MAC Retro Matte Finish that they come out with in like their Rihanna collections and stuff. Those are just super drying. Then you have something like the L'Oreal Les Mattes that they came out with, which aren't super opaque, but they're also not very drying. They're almost like a silicone feeling. These are kind of somewhere in between. I think they're a little bit drier than the Les Mattes that L'Oreal came out with, but these are so much more pigmented. They have such a nice buttery formula. They don't go on patchy. These also do not bleed outside of your lip line by any means. When you first put them on, they go on very creamy, but once you let them set for a couple minutes, they do start to dry down a little bit. Extremely comfortable feeling on the lips, I will admit. They're really nice. These also last quite a bit more on your lips than the Lacquer Balms, and that's just kind of traditional with any matte lip product. Usually matte lip products tend to last longer than Lacquer Balms. So out of the matte balms and Lacquer Balms, I can get the Lacquer Balms to last about 2 to 3 hours. I can get the matte balms to last about 3 to 4 hours before I notice some fading. I find the matte balms also leave a nice stain behind, especially with the darker or brighter shades, and they fade very evenly throughout the day, which I really love. I also think these are really easy to touch up, really nice because I love the jumbo pencil formatting. They're so much nicer than pulling out, you know, like a matte lipstick where you may need a lip brush or some other stuff to go with it. This is just so convenient in a little lip pencil. You can pop it out of your purse, slap it on, and be good to go. And I also will say that once these matte balms set in your lips, give them just a couple minutes, maybe 5 minutes or so to set in your lips, and they do not transfer. You will get a little bit of transfer if you're drinking from like a cold glass or something, but for the most part, they don't transfer. I have one on my lips right now, and I will just show you. I'll kiss my hand. And you can see how much transfer you get. Like I said, you'll get a little bit, but nothing compared to the color I have on my lips right now. It lasts really nicely. So now I'm going to be going through each of the individual colors of the matte balms, showing you guys lip swatches as well as swatches up close on my hand. So this first matte balm is called Elusive, and this is a very light, warm-toned pink shade. It's not very blue tone, so it does actually flatter my skin tone quite a bit. This is probably the lightest I would go in terms of pink though, because I think any shade lighter would look white on my lips. This next shade is called Unapologetic, and this is a very bright, hot pink with a little bit of a coral tone to it. It is very bright though, almost neon, and I really love it. This next shade is called Shameless, and holy wow is this purple. This is a violet, bright purple. It is just pure purple. It looks exactly like the exterior packaging. If you see this and think, oh, that's not going to show up that purple on your lips, it will. This next shade is called Showy, and this is another hot pink, but this one is very blue based. So I'm actually not crazy about this shade on my skin tone in particular. I think on lighter skin people, this would be amazing. A bright blue based hot pink. It is pretty, just not so much on me. This next shade is called Sultry, and this is just my perfect rosy, neutral, everyday color. It's the perfect rosy brown. Absolutely beautiful. This is probably my favorite in the whole collection. This next shade is called Complex, and this is way too light for my skin tone. It is a very, very light, neutral nude color. Once again, for lighter skin tones, this would be beautiful. This next shade is Mischievous, and this is a very, very light creamsicle orange color. Once again, too light for my skin tone, I think, but it is a really pretty, nice creamsicle color for lighter skin tones. This next shade is Striking, and this one is almost like an orangey red type color. It's actually really, really beautiful. Even on my skin tone, I think this would be flattering for all skin tones. If you guys like orangey reds, this is a really nice one. This next shade is called Audacious, and this is a bright, almost neon, corally orange color. It is so bright, so in your face, perfect for the spring and summertime. And this last matte balm that Revlon released is called Standout, and this is a very beautiful dark brick red, just absolutely stunning, perfect for Christmas or like that Hollywood pinup look. It is so beautiful. So my overall thoughts between the Lacquer Balms and the matte balms, I will have to say I much prefer the matte balms. I think the formulation of them is flawless, really nice, really creamy, super opaque, lasts a long time, hardly any transfer on them. I just love these lip products. I think the Lacquer Balms are really nice as well, but I think if you're going for a very full coverage, super opaque lip look, these you will need to build up quite a bit, whereas the matte balms are pretty opaque just with one swipe. I will also say that both of these lip products do have a little bit of a scent. It's kind of like a minty type scent. If you guys have tried any of the Tarte lip surgeons, they have the same scent as that. It's a little bit minty, a little bit tingling on your lips. It doesn't burn, it doesn't hurt by any means. Also, I found these for $8.99 at my local CVS store, but because it's a drugstore product, prices will vary depending on which drugstore you buy it from. Now, out of the entire collection of all 20 of the Lacquer Balms and matte balms, if I were to just recommend a couple to you guys to try out, as for the Lacquer Balms, I would try these two out. This one being Whimsical and this one being Provocateur. I think these two are absolutely beautiful, nice formulations on both of them. As for the matte balms, the two that I would recommend from those are these two. This one is Sultry and this one is Standout. Standout is what I'm wearing on my lips right now, and I think these two are just beautiful, a nice rosy neutral and a gorgeous brick red. And if you guys are in the mood for something different, something fun, something you don't see a lot in the drugstore, I would get Shameless. This is just a really, really cool, very bright violet colored lip product. I think this is so unique. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this Revlon Colorburst Lacquer Balm and Matte Balm review video. If you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, suggestions, anything for me, please leave them down in the comments below. I would love to read them. Definitely be sure to thumbs this video up if you guys enjoyed the lip swatches and everything, because my lips are dying and I think I deserve the thumbs up for that. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye!